Hey, this is Sebastian from the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I am joined by...
My name's David Readman. Great pleasure to be on your show today.
It's a great album that you're due to be releasing in August. Medusa is absolutely awesome. It's proper old school rock. Yeah, love it, mate. How excited are you getting now the release date is nearly here?
It feels good. I mean, it's taken me about a year and a half, which, you know, I went on it relaxed, that there's no record company involved in that respect, which in a way is a shame in some ways, but it did mean that I could do what I wanted. But of course, getting to the point now where finally the CD came really just like probably about a week ago.
Cool.
It was a very special feeling, you know, when you've done it all yourself, you know, whenever you get a record, I've made a few, thank God, but this means definitely something else because you've really been a big part of it. And in a way, you've got to sort of put it away and keep coming back and having a look because otherwise you're too involved, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It is, like I said, it's a proper hard rock record. Can you tell me about the immense title track Medusa and Roxanna's involvement?
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you this massive romantic story. I could tell you the truth. It really depends what you want. I mean, the truth is, I came up with this idea with the Medusa thing, and it's not a complicated answer, but I got this idea for the front cover. I'd asked Gilbert Mello from Sledgehammer Graphics, who did the whole thing, did a fantastic job. He sent it back, and I was happy with what he'd done, but I felt that we needed something happening in the middle, and I had this idea. I've always liked this Medusa thing with, you know, with the snakes and the hair and everything, and I just thought it looks great, you know what I mean? So next thing, the album's called Medusa. This is how it goes, you know what I mean? I mean, I got a message from God or whatever, I don't know. The next thing is called Medusa. So I thought to myself, well, I'd like to have a track on this record called Medusa, you know, to sort of, quite often you make a record and it's possible that the title track is on the record. And I ended up with, you know, Madame Medusa. Like I said, I like the whole concept of turning people into stone and the whole thing of it. It's a great rock and roll thing in a way, the title Medusa, what can I tell you? And the track I'd written with a guy called Julian Sprutels in Belgium.
Right.
It was really just a basic track. It could have been anything, could have gone on that track, and I basically turned it into Madame Medusa, basically. And obviously, as you know, and any future listeners are going to know, I ended up with a young lady, Jessica Conte, doing guest vocals because I felt that it needed a bit of a concept going on. So obviously, I needed, for the first time for myself, to get somebody else involved on my record. Yeah. And getting the bass player involved, the female bass player, like you said, I saw her on TikTok.
All right, okay.
Which is almost ridiculous, you know. I could have said, well, you know, we go back years and all that business, but honestly, and I don't watch TikTok all day, believe me, it's just nonsense, man. It's absolute nonsense. But I think it was TikTok or something like that, and I knew she's playing on that track, and she sent me some video because I always try and make some kind of videos. You know, recently someone said, when are you going to make a real video? I was like, okay, thank you. Yeah, you know, a real video these days is going to be a video in an old factory somewhere, you know.
Exactly, yeah.
So I knew that if she sent me some video, it's going to be great. It's going to be having obviously Jessica involved, having her involved in the video, and it gives it an extra dimension, you know. And that was really, and I thought it was nice also to involve her because, you know, she needs a break, you know. Me, and hopefully it helps her in her career.
Absolutely, and Jessica's vocals are absolutely phenomenal, aren't they? Just amazing.
I think so. It's one of them. It's you know, you could have got like an operatic type sort of singer involved, the usual way to go.
Yeah.
Jessica likes rock, but she's not necessarily, she sings rock stuff, I guess, live, but she's not necessarily like your expected rock singer.
Right.
You know what I mean? She could probably do most stuff. And I just found that she had a certain character going on that interested me. And I thought, you know, the video, of course, that she sent me for that track was fantastic. So yeah.
Right. And I really love Generation Dead, but it reminds me of something, and I can't put my finger on it. It's Bon Jovi or something like that. I can't put my finger on it. But anyway, can you tell us about that song?
Well, it's good and bad, isn't it? You know what I mean? It reminds you of something, which hopefully makes the song better, or, you know, at the end of the day, it's definitely very influenced from early 90s style of music that was happening around that kind of time in a way, but still sort of 80s rock type somehow.
Yeah, it's Come to Me. It's Warren, Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Oh shit! And now it's on video. Oh my god! There is a certain influence in there, and I did actually read it on a comment somewhere, which suddenly disappeared on the video. But yeah, I mean, what can I tell you? You know, we're influenced by many things, and I did actually go and check out that track. And there is a likeness for a moment.
Only a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's not like I've ripped the whole verse.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. It was just, reminding me. It's just a good thing, isn't it?
And it is a song that I always found incredible. So hey, that's the way it goes. But this song actually I wrote probably about 16 years ago.
Really? Because I would say it's like very today, Generation Dead. Because lyric wise, it's up to date. You know, with a lot of this stuff on this record, not everything, but some of the songs I basically were written last week. Basically with Julian, I wrote stuff with Julian. I wrote with different guitar players, which was different from the first record, which I like to do. You know, and especially more these days, because it gets more guitar oriented. Then, you know, if a guitar player does his thing, rather than it's just like me doing, you know, what I think or whatever. So that's what I definitely did. And but this track, I was looking through some stuff that obviously you've always got songs everywhere that you've done at some point, and this was a track that I'd even suggested for Pink Room 69 back in the day, but with a different refrain, I have to say. So somehow the verse had something, even though it reminded maybe of something else or whatever, but you know, the direction and the fact that it rocks and everything. But I knew I needed a different refrain, and that's what I did. And so the refrain's very up to date. The basic of the song is quite old. Guitar player that I worked with, and I gave him a part of the song, is a guy called Bram Engelin. It's actually a Dutch guy, a very young guy. It's about 23. Right. So he brought in that young aspect, you could say, to the song. And of course, the lyrics are about the situation at the moment. You know, not just that we've got Corona and wars, we have a serious problem with the radio. Don't we? Yeah, totally. Yeah, I do a bit of voluntary work, and honestly, they had the Capital Radio on, and it's just shit. It's absolutely, and the last, she's so annoyed. She says, "This tune's banging," and I'm like, "That's not banging. That's just."
Well, that's it. You know, if I'm in a radio, if I'm on a call with someone and you have to listen to their radio, I'm like, you know, come and maybe change station, or well, I do work. I have to work as well. I work part time somewhere, and generally we don't have radio going.
Oh, we did.
See, I'm getting my CDs to send off. Obviously, brilliant. I did a GoFundMe thing at the beginning, so people could like pre-order it. So I got a lot of orders from America, like bulk for shops. Brilliant. And also for Brazil. So I think I've got rid of about 250 at the moment.
Wow.
Which is not bad.
I'll buy one in a bit. After this, I'll buy one.
Right, man. Thanks.
All right. Okay. So how would you compare Medusa to your previous albums with Pink Cream 69, even Tank? And how would you compare it?
I just think that, you know, when you make a solo record, you can't go too far away from what you've done in the past. Well, you could do whatever you want, I guess. But
Yeah.
if you want, obviously, your fan base to accept what you've done, I guess, and to help support what you're doing, then you're going to probably going to stick with what you've done in the past and what you like to do, I guess.
Yeah.
But I probably did more what I personally want to do. You know, I'd like to think that in some songs they touch a little bit on what I call modern, maybe not to other people. Like Fallen, for example, you could say it's got a heavier edge to it that we might not necessarily do with Pink Cream 69.
Yeah.
Our later tracks, Summer Wine, where I know that Pink Cream 69 wouldn't have touched this track. It's a melodic track. It reminds me a bit of the back in the day, basically. It might not necessarily fit on the record, but it's something that I like to do, maybe acoustic-wise. It's a good acoustic song. And it goes back to the first solo record that I did a little bit. Also, I had a bit, you've got to kind of experiment a little bit and do your own thing, what you enjoy doing, of course, which is really important. Yeah. But also, you've got to, I don't want people to think, this record's kind of a bit too far away from the first one that I really liked and paid for. You know what I mean? And it's just a fine line between sort of enjoying yourself, doing a bit of different stuff. And I'm the boss. I can do whatever I want. And, when you're in a band, obviously that Pink Cream 69, very democratic band, decisions are being made. We make A, B lists, and it's possible that a song you really find you think's really strong doesn't make a record. It can be a bit disappointing sometimes, so.
Right, I was watching the feed from Masters of Rock that you've just recently played, and the chap saying that you reminded him of David Coverdale, but you are better than David Coverdale. How amazing is that for you to hear?
Yeah, that's cool. It's actually that I made that video on my YouTube channel. Obviously, I'm trying to connect with the people and all. That's why it all started to make this record, of course. Yeah. I honestly probably wouldn't have made it a second record. It's such a monster to do it, unless you're doing it on a regular basis and you know exactly what to do and everything. Yeah. But it was really a monster. But this guy, I think I met him before, and I had my phone. I was trying to film a little bit, and he was talking to me. I said, "Come on, let's film this," because I just thought he was such a cool guy. It was Czech Republic, and he's probably just completely pissed and having a really good time, I mean, possibly even sleeping in the bushes, what I mean. But no, that's a cool thing. I didn't leave it on there as in really what he had to necessarily say, because I hear it a lot, because I do like a tribute stuff as far as Whitesnake stuff is concerned. And stuff that I did grow up with, I was like 17. When I was 17, the 87 record came out. I'd heard the earlier stuff a bit, but that was a massive influence on me. And which is there to haunt you for the rest of your life in a way. Yeah. And I wouldn't say that I particularly tried to do the Coverdale thing, but it's something that the way he sings, that I do like that kind of style. Also like Paul Rodgers, Led Zepp, stuff like that. Big fan, and it's a big influence on me. And of course, if somebody says that, it's a big compliment. What can I tell you?
Major, man. Honestly, and I can see what you were saying as well. Absolutely. But you've got your own unique style as well, so it's cool. So how was it at Masters of Rock? It's in Czechoslovakia, as I know. With Pink Cream 69, how was it?
It was just fantastic, man. I mean, we've been at home basically for the last couple of years, and like I said before, I'm out there quite often doing different stuff, which is really, really fantastic. And so I've been about this year doing bits and bats and getting around, not as much as I'd like to do by any means, but it's been pretty good. So to do a festival like this, which is just massive, and in a way I'd forgotten, honestly. You get there, you stay in a hotel. Travel was a bit sort of, I flew to Austria first, and then we traveled 3.5 hours in a transporter type bus over the border. Funny enough, like I said on the vlog, actually, nobody even remotely wanted to look at my passport, which is sort of weird, you know what I mean? Yeah. Obviously, I'm traveling from Europe, but I'm used to now being not part of Europe anymore. Yeah. Obviously, having a British passport. And it's funny, I took it with me, and I'm now replacing it, basically. But obviously, I waited to do this trip first before I started to go through the rigmarole of redoing my passport. But to think that nobody actually was interested in my passport at all, But if I wouldn't have had it with me, it
They would have
been
been, yeah, sod's law, like.
that's how it is. But no, it was fantastic. Got there, got on stage, and then realized, oh shit, there's a lot of people here today.
Yeah.
And it was, I've played there a few times, but it was better than ever. Everybody was really there, even at that time when we played about 6 o'clock. It was a good slot, you know. I think earlier people are still sort of getting up and shaking off the hangovers, you know what I mean? It did rain a bit through the day. But I think because of what's happened over the last few years, everybody was so enthusiastic. Everybody was so friendly backstage more than ever, because everybody's just ready to get going with this and just somehow get back to some kind of normal, you know. And for us, you know, we practiced a couple of times in the last 2.5 years. The guys have practiced on their own basically without me, which can't be difficult, can't be easy. And it's the only way. I live further away. And you know, we went on stage and that was our first gig in 2.5 years, you know what I mean? So
that's
it's
amazing.
stupid, really. You know, we're still in front of I don't know, 10,000 people, you know what I mean? I mean, you should actually probably go somewhere else and do a secret gig, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like that shit. Just go for it and have a good time. And it was really cool. It was really cool.
Sounds amazing. Plans to get out on the road with the album and hopefully get back over to the UK at some stage?
Yeah, I hope so. I think so. I already have some kind of offers in a way. You know, it's obviously putting some sort of band together that works. You know, I mean, I remember with the first record I played in the UK. I played at Bradford Firefest.
All right, yeah.
I was in Bradford and Nottingham.
Right.
And then I played in Kerkrade, which is on the border to Germany, in the Netherlands. Like also a great festival there. And I remember it was sort of weird because everybody wanted to be in the band, you know, because on this record it's like 25 guitar players, 180 bass players, 3 drummers, you know.
Yeah.
And that's something that has to be considered, you know. If somebody obviously wanted to do this and wanted to do this, I'd have to get some kind of band together. But I mean, that's definitely on the cards, because like I said, I do a lot of stuff. I'm so used to turning up and jamming and doing this and whatever. It's easy for me to do that, but not necessarily for other musicians. But let's see what happens. Let's hope that, you know, we stay in a good, healthy way.
Let's hope so, yeah.
Continue. I mean, at the moment, it's just fantastic.
Cool. So what's going to be happening with Tank? Are you hopeful to do any work with them in the future?
Well, the last gig I played with those guys was in Japan.
Okay. Wow.
We did 2 shows in Japan.
Okay.
Same place. So obviously we set up, did the show, and then basically went home, came back, and, you know, played the gig again at the same place, which was funny, you know. And before that, we were in Australia. It was just mind blowing, just absolutely so fantastic. Check out my YouTube. I did a vlog on that as well.
Okay, we'll do.
And yeah, I mean, there's been a bit of contact. A couple of gigs we had, but it was still in the difficult times, and we ended up not doing it because for me it's got a bit difficult for me to pull it off. And since then, I haven't heard much, to be honest.
All right.
Quiet on the Tank front in that respect, but who knows? I really don't know. Cool. I hope that we can carry on, but I think we've realised that it's better just take a bit of a break and just, I think, a mix doing the White Spirit thing.
Right.
He's just released that now, which is a record that they made many years ago, and they've revamped it. So let's see.
Yeah, well, I saw Tank in Mons in Belgium at the PPM Fest. It was fantastic. It was brilliant. That was Seb Di was fronting then. But yeah, that's a shame that festival's not going anymore, because that was just absolutely brilliant. The PPM. Did you ever go there?
Possibly, I've heard of it. Obviously, I'm not that far. I'm in the Netherlands now.
Oh, yeah, not
far away from Belgium. And Belgium, I always say, it's quite a place. You know,
I love Belgium. I love Belgium.
It's very different in that respect. It's obviously, you go over the border, they still speak the languages as in here, but the organization that they have here, the lifestyle sort of goes out the window. And then there's Belgium.
Amazing place, honestly. I've got friends in Flanders, and I made a lot of friends down in Mons. I haven't been back since, obviously, because of the pandemic, but I've been about 8 times, and people are like, why do you like Belgium? It's just something about it. The beer, Everything's so good. It's just amazing. I love it there. And I've been to Holland a few times too, obviously. I mean, Netherlands, sorry. Um, okay, so next one is, are you glad you started in the music industry back when you did rather than today?
Yeah, I think so. I think in a way, I've always said, in a way, I was a bit too late somehow. You know, I've always felt that, you know, if I'd have been, I wouldn't like to be older now, but
Yeah.
but a bit older and maybe, you know, got into the scene a bit earlier in down London, you know what I mean? If I'd have, you know, got into the right places at the right time, maybe I'd have been doing other things in respect. I'd like to think you do consider what if from your career and everything.
Yeah.
But no, I think so. I think these days it's still possible to have a certain level of success with bands, but you know, obviously selling records and all that kind of stuff's all gone. And I was obviously lucky I came to Germany and I signed exclusive to Sony Music.
Right.
So it was obviously a major record company. So I had a moment of glory, as in flying around first class, getting some kind of wage.
Yeah.
Selling records. Money wasn't really an obstacle at that time. You know what I mean? And we made some very expensive videos. So I was lucky that I could, you know, lavish in that kind of thing at that time. A lot of people who are doing it now, kids and stuff like that, they're never gonna ever be able to witness that. You know what I mean? But there are still artists out there, you know, be it pop or rock artists who've never changed. You know, they've always gone for a year in the studio and somebody pays it and stuff like that. So no, I think it's good. I think I've been very lucky, and to have both sides, the amazing side, you know, where things were really good, and of course now where cutting corners a lot, you know, you're doing a lot yourself. You're still striving to still make the music that you love, because at the end of the day, once it's in the bloodstream, it's difficult to get rid of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, man. Okay, then. So can you complete this sentence for me? Everybody needs the juicer in their lives because you never know when the right time comes to be turned to stone. Brilliant. That's a good answer. Love it. So what song from any band sums up how you're feeling today?
How am I feeling today? I'd say Good Enough. Is it called Good Enough from Van Halen?
All right. Okay.
I think the first record with Sammy Hagar.
Excellent. Love it. Okay. If you could change the world with 2 wishes, what would you choose?
I'd say that the first wish is we go back right to the beginning where we started, where there was no disease, that we live from the land. If we made our own choices, if we eat meat or whatever we're going to eat, we had to deal with it ourselves. And hopefully, what I imagine, it must have been an amazing place, you know, before we destroyed it. And the second one would be, I think one's enough.
All right, that's a brilliant answer. All right, and so how can we keep in contact with you? Obviously, with your YouTube blog, how often do you post up on there?
I try. Recently, I posted a lot of videos.
Right.
It was like, I think it was like too many videos and so little time. And now I try every week. There's going to be it's time for another video, I guess. It's like one of those things, you know. Obviously, you start that YouTube thing, and you're going for that 1,000 subscribers, you know, and
hard work, man. It's hard work.
You know, now, if I was selling sex toys or something like that, or if I had a very sexy girlfriend who went naked every week, it's very possible that I might get those 1,000 subscribers very quick.
Yeah.
With this kind of thing, even though there's people involved and the support's been amazing and everything, you know, I think I'm not far from 800 maybe, but it's taken a long time, and I do try to post as much as possible, but it's sometimes just frustrating in respect that you get these guys who are diving to the bottom of the ocean up and picking up iPhones, and they've got like 10,000 people watching the video in 2 days, you know, and I'm basically pouring my heart out about my latest release,
I know.
and I get about 80 views. But hey, you carry on, and I am not complaining. It has been amazing. It has been an amazing journey, and I try to post at least once every week. I did go live from time to time, which was quite enjoyable.
Right.
And I should start that again. But
brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time. Like I say, I'll be buying the album in a minute after I've come off here. Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers and listeners?
Absolutely. The record's out. You can pre-order it. You will then get a nice poster from me.
Cool.
Right here. You get a cool poster, signed personally for you, signed again, and I'll get it off to you basically as soon as possible, even though the UK are very strange now about sending stuff. But anyway, we'll make it work. Yeah, and thanks so much for listening, obviously, to this interview that we just did now, and keep rocking. I just need to find the answer. I've been asking questions. I just need to find